Good afternoon. This is Nanette Holmes coming to you from Touchmark on Saddle Drive. I am the Life Enrichment Director here at Touchmark, and today we are doing our Touchmark Tuesday Trivia. We do have a couple just very basic rules for Touchmark Tuesday Trivia. If you're down by the front desk in our mailboxes, you can pick up a little sheet that looks like this, and that will give you kind of the outline, the guidelines for if you would like to play along. The first guideline that we have is if you would like to play along. On the back side of this sheet is an answer sheet that looks like this. It has 4 areas where you can answer the questions and list your answers, correct them, put down your total number correct. The most important part of that is your name at the top, so that if you do participate and turn this into my mailbox at the front desk or put it on my office desk, I will give you a prize. The prizes vary, different, usually candy and food prizes that I give. So there's the answer sheet. Probably the most important thing to remember with the rules for Touchmark Trivia is this is just for fun. I don't care if you get them all wrong. I don't give you extra points if you get them all right. I don't correct your spelling. I don't judge your handwriting, none of that. So just have fun. And we do this every Tuesday at 4 o'clock. And this same program is replayed every Thursday at 4 o'clock. So Tuesday and Thursday you can play along, but it is just a repeat of today's trivia. So with that, get your answer sheet ready. If you don't have an official one, if you just write your answers on a piece of paper, I accept that. And that's a lot of fun too. So just write your answers down. Let me know. I love when you do that because then that lets me know you're participating and following along, and that I am actually doing this with a purpose because I love trivia myself. So with that, we do 4 rounds of 10 questions around. I say the question, I repeat the question, and then I go on to the next one. It is pretty fast, so if you don't get an answer, I suggest putting a mark in the number so that you can go on to the next one. So 10 questions, first round, here we go. Question number 1. What U.S. city is sometimes called Motown? Number 1, what U.S. city is sometimes called Motown? It's kind of a nickname for it. That's question number 1. Question number 2. What hobby would be associated with a Lionel HO scale caboose? If I knew what that was, then I would know what hobby this is. So number 2, what hobby is associated with a Lionel HO scale caboose? Answer that question. Question number 3. What fast food chain is home to the Whopper? So question number 3, what fast food chain is home to the Whopper? That's one of their products. So write that fast food chain down. Question number 4, what ancient civilization's gods did Zeus rule over? So question 4, what ancient civilization's gods did Zeus rule over? I think there were 12 of them, although maybe Zeus was one of 12. I'll have to read the book. All right, that's question 4. So question number 5. You know I like throwing out a Bible question every now and then. So question 5. What biblical city boasted the Tower of Babel? You've heard of the Tower of Babel. What city was the Tower of Babel in? That's question number 5. Question number 6. What is the name of the device that's used to weave yarn or thread into cloth? So question 6, what is the name of the device that is used to weave yarn or thread into fabric? What is that device called? I know it's on the tip of your tongue. Question number 7. What do the 3 bears leave to cool when they go on a walk? So question number 7. What do the 3 bears leave to cool when they go for a walk? Do you remember that story? All right, question number 8. What town is the TV show Gunsmoke set in? So you have Gunsmoke, you have Marshall Dillon, isn't he in Gunsmoke? James Arness. What town was that set in? So question number 8, what town is the TV show Gunsmoke set in? Question number 9, what National Hockey League team plays its home games at the Boston Gardens? So number 9, what National Hockey League team plays their home games in Boston Garden? I guess it's called, Boston Garden. What hockey team plays there? And we're on the last question. See how fast these go? The last question. What American is pictured on the front of a $1 bill? Whose picture's on the front of a $1 bill? That should be easy. I have a lot of ones. All right, so question 10, what American is pictured on the front of a $1 bill? Although maybe it's the back, but I don't think it is. It's the front. All right, so that's 10 questions. We're done with round 1. So let's go back and review. So you have to self-correct. If you get it right, do nothing. If you get it wrong, put a check next to it and then count up your correct and make a note. So question number 1, I asked, what U.S. city is sometimes called Motown? Well, Motown is Detroit, Michigan. Detroit is known as Motown. I think it's for the music scene there. What was the famous music company? I can't remember. Motown Music? Okay. So Motown is Detroit. Motor Town, Motor City. All right. Question number 2. What hobby would be associated with a Lionel HO scale caboose? Well, maybe I have some of these hobbyists in our building. Model railroading. That's the Lionel trains, and HO, they have different scales depending on if you want bigger or smaller. So Lionel HO scale caboose is associated with model railroading. All right, number 3, what fast food chain is home to the Whopper? A Whopper you can find at Burger King. So Burger King is the answer to that. Number 4, what ancient civilization's gods did Zeus rule over? That would have been ancient Greece. The Greek gods. Zeus is one of the Greek gods. So we said Rome or Roman civilization. That's wrong. Greek or ancient Greece civilization. So question number 5, what biblical city boasted the Tower of Babel? I gave you half the answer right there. Babel. Babylon is the answer to that. So the city in the Bible with the Tower of Babel is Babylon. All right, question number 6. What is the name of the device that is used to weave yarn or thread into cloth? Oh, it's called a loom. Looms, you weave on a loom to make cloth or whatever, so a rug, whatever the case may be. So loom is the answer to number 6. Number 7, what do the 3 bears leave to cool when they go for a walk? They left their bowls of porridge on the table, and then Snow White. Little Red Riding. What are we on here? I'm sorry. The 3 bears and Goldilocks. Goldilocks came and tried the porridge. Too hot, too cold, and the beds were too soft and too hard. So porridge is the answer to that one. All right, question number 8. What town is the TV show Gunsmoke set in? Well, Gunsmoke was set in Dodge City. So Dodge City is the answer to number 8. Number 9, what National Hockey League team plays their home games at Boston Garden? That would be the Boston Bruins. So the Bruins would be the hockey team that plays at Boston Garden. And number 10, what American is pictured on the front of a $1 bill? Wait, I think I have one. $1 bills. Oh, who's that? There he is. George Washington is on a $1 bill. So George, give me some Georges there. So George Washington is number 10. All right, so take a moment, tabulate your right answers and your wrong answers, and we will get ready to go on to round 2, the next 10 questions. All right, round 2. Question number 1. What character in The Wizard of Oz is most afraid of going up in smoke? I have to think of all the characters in The Wizard of Oz. So question 1, what character in The Wizard of Oz is most afraid of going up in smoke? Question number 2, what food has traditionally been eaten on Shrove Tuesday? I think that's right before Mardi Gras. All right, so question number 2, what food has traditionally been eaten on Shrove Tuesday? What do we eat? Question number 3, what table game would a rack, chalk, and a cue be used to play? So question number 3, what table game would a rack, chalk, and a cue be used to play? That's number 3. Question number 4, what country did the U.S. fight in the War of 1812? So we all remember the War of 1812. Kind of went through 1814 because the song says in 1814 took a little trip. I like that song. So question number 4, what country did the U.S. fight in the War of 1812? Question number 5, what wildlife artist painted 1,065 species of North American birds? So question number 5, what wildlife artist painted 1,065 species of North American birds? I've really enjoyed bird watching at my house right now. So I saw goldfinch last night. It was very pretty. All right, question number 6. While participating in what sport would a person use a rope tow, a T-bar, or a pommel lift? What sport would you be participating in if you use those things? So question 6, while participating in what sport would a person use a rope tow, a T-bar, or a pommel lift? Question number 7, what Italian city do Neapolitans live in? So question number 7, what Italian city do Neapolitans live in? That's number 7. Number 8, what percussion instrument has bells or jingling metal discs around a tightly stretched skin? That's question number 8. What percussion instrument has bells or jingling metal discs around a tightly stretched skin? All right, they say anybody can play it, but it takes a little talent. I had to do it once. All right, question number 9. What is the only gemstone that is composed of just one element? So question number 9, what is the only gemstone that's composed of just one element? And question number 10, what famed craft, captained by Thor Heyerdahl, ran aground on Rayora Reef in Polynesia? I might be mispronouncing that. Okay, so question number 10. What famed craft, what was the name of the boat, captained by Thor Heyerdahl, which ran aground on the Rayora Reef in Polynesia? What was the name of his boat? Thor Heyerdahl's boat. All right, so that was question 10. So we're done with round 2. We will go back and review. And like I say, when we are doing this in person, because we like to play in person, I can repeat questions for you, but in this way I can't repeat questions. So, all right, Question number 1 was, what character in The Wizard of Oz was most afraid of going up in smoke? Of course, you know that would be the Scarecrow. He didn't want to catch on fire. I think the witch tried to catch him on fire. So the Scarecrow was the one who was afraid of going up in smoke. Question 2, what food has traditionally been eaten on Shrove Tuesday? Well, traditionally, it would be pancakes. So Shrove Tuesday is like Pancake Tuesday, so you're supposed to eat pancakes. So pancakes is the answer to number 2. Number 3, what game would a rack, chalk, and a cue be used in? Well, hopefully you all know that would be pool or billiards, that uses the cue and the rack and the balls and all of that and the chalk. So pool or billiards is the answer to number 3. Number 4, what country did the U.S. fight in the War of 1812? We fought them before and won. I don't know why they thought they could win again, but Britain is the answer to that. I don't know if it was Great Britain at that time, but England or Britain is the answer to number 4. That's who we fought in the War of 1812. We whipped them twice, then we helped them out later. All right, question number 5. What wildlife artist painted 1,065 species of North American birds? This is a hard one. I always misspell his name, but John James Audubon, like the Audubon Society. So John James Audubon is the answer to number 5. Number 6, while participating in what sport would a person use a rope tow, a T-bar, or a pommel lift? If you ever skied before 1980, you probably used one of these. So skiing is the answer to that one. There are ways to get yourself up the hill. A rope tow, a T-bar, or a pommel lift are ways of getting up the hill. So number 6, skiing. Number 7, what Italian city do Neapolitans live in? Neapolitans live in Naples, Italy. So Naples is the answer to number 7. Number 8, what percussion instrument has bells or jingling metal discs around a tightly stretched skin? Duh, that would be a tambourine. I don't have one, I'm just shaking my hand. A tambourine is the answer to number 8, tambourine. Question 9, what is the only gemstone that is composed of just one element? That element is carbon, I believe. No, I better think about that. Anyway, it's a diamond. Diamonds don't have any other colors that make them color. If they have a color, then they're not a pure diamond. I think that's how it goes anyway. Like sapphires have, I don't know, probably iron in them or something. The different color stones get that from different elements. So a diamond would be the answer to number 9. Number 10, what famed craft or boat captained by Thor Heyerdahl ran aground on Rayora Reef in Polynesia? That would be the Kon-Tiki, if you remember his big, trying to figure out, oh, that was a long time ago. The Kon-Tiki is the name of that craft. So that's round 2. We'll check that one off the list. Go back and correct if you'd like, or wait until we're all finished, whatever's easier for you. And we will go on to round 3. Next 10 questions. So round 3, question number 1. What skin-scraping rock produced by volcanoes is used by many people to get rid of calluses on their feet? So, number 1, what skin-scraping rock produced by volcanoes is used by many people to get rid of calluses on their feet? What kind of a stone do they use? Yes. All right, question number 2. What was Beethoven's first name? Question number 2. What was Beethoven's first name? Yes, that Beethoven, the most famous one. What was his first name? Write that down for question number 2. Question number 3. What is the first and largest of the Florida Keys? So that's the little chain of islands at the end of Florida, at the tip of Florida. What is the first and largest of the Florida Keys? Okay, if you're like most people, you can probably only name one or two. Name one of those. So there you go. It's a Babe Ruth question. Name the one you know. Question number 4. What kind of carpenter's tools come in jig and coping styles? Question number 4. What kind of carpenter's tools come in jig or coping styles? What kind of a carpenter tool is that? A jig or a coping? All right, question number 5. What does a cartographer make and study? So question number 5, what does a cartographer make and study? Cartographers, they make what? Write that down. All right, question number 6. What is the center of an archery target called? Number 6, what is the center of an archery target called? I had to do archery with Cub Scouts. It was a nightmare. All right, question number 7. What is the name of the cream-filled packaged golden sponge cake treat made by the Hostess Company? So question number 7. What is the name of the cream-filled, prepackaged golden sponge cake treat made by the Hostess Company? They're very famous. All right, question number 8. How many states start with the letter K? And then name them. So question number 8. How many states have names starting with the letter K? And then write them down what they are. That's question number 8. And now we're on question number 9. What does Tom Tom the Piper's son steal before running away? So that's question number 9. What does Tom Tom the Piper's son steal before he runs away? You better say, stole something and away he ran. Okay, that's question 9. On to question 10, the final one in this round. What Union general burned his way through the South at the end of the U.S. Civil War? So question number 10. What Union general burned his way through the South during the U.S. Civil War? He's a very famous general. He came west, I think, after the Civil War. All right. Oh, maybe he didn't. I'm thinking of a different one. All right, that's question 10. We'll go back and review. And we'll go back and start with question number 1. What skin-scraping rock produced by volcanoes is used by many people to get rid of calluses on their feet? You use it, you rub it on your calluses and get rid of the calluses. It is a pumice stone. So pumice is the volcanic rock that we use to get rid of calluses on your feet. Pumice is the answer to 1. Question number 2. What was Beethoven's first name? Oh, very famous. Ludwig. That's anyway. Ludwig or Ludwig van Beethoven, I believe was his name. So Ludwig or Ludwig, however you want to say it or spell it, doesn't matter. That was Beethoven's first name. Number 3, what is the first and largest of the Florida Keys? So I said most people I think could name the 2 main ones down there. Key Largo is the answer to this question. That is the first and largest. I thought it's either going to be Key West or Key Largo. So you had a 50-50 chance if you knew those 2. But Key Largo is the answer to number 3. Number 4, what kind of carpenter's tools come in a jig or a coping style? Saws. So you have a jigsaw or a coping saw. 2 different styles of saws. So number 4, saws. And number 5, what does a cartographer make and study? Cartographers make maps and study maps. So a map is the answer to that. That's all computer stuff nowadays, but computer maps are a lot of fun too. All right, question number 6, what is the center of an archery target called? Of course, it's called the bullseye. That center part is called the bullseye in an archery target. Number 7, what is the name of the cream-filled packaged golden sponge cake treat made by the Hostess Company? You probably put it in your kids' lunches. Hostess Twinkies is the answer. So Twinkie is the answer to number 7. Number 8, how many states have names that start with the letter K? 2. Kansas and Kentucky. So 2 states start with the letter K. Kansas and Kentucky are the answers to number 8. Number 9, what does Tom Tom the Piper's son steal before running away? He stole a pig and away he run. So Tom Tom the Piper's son stole a pig and away he run. So he stole a pig. That's the answer to number 9. And number 10, what Union general burned his way through the South during the U.S. Civil War? So who marched into Atlanta? Who marched to the shore of, the coast there? William Tecumseh Sherman. So Sherman's marched through the South. So William Tecumseh Sherman is the answer to number 10. That's our final question on round 3. Now we're going to have our final round, round 4, last round, the final 10 questions. So question number 1. What is the 8-branched candlestick lit during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah called? So question number 1, what is the 8-branched candlestick that is lit during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah called? I think it would be 9 branches, right? And it has like 1 in the center. 4. Well, my question says 8-branched, but I think it's 9. Maybe there's 8 days of Hanukkah. Anyway, what is that fancy candlestick called that is lit during Hanukkah? Number 9. Number 2. We are on question number 2 on our final round. Number 2, what is the term for an animal with pure white skin and hair and pink eyes? Humans don't usually have pink eyes when this condition happens. But number 2, what is the term for an animal with pure white skin and hair and pink eyes? You see mice and rabbits have this condition. So that's question 2. Question 3, what famous 24-hour auto race takes place in France every year? I think it's like those Formula 500 cars. So anyway, the question number 3, what famous 24-hour race takes place in France every year? It's very famous. Question number 4, where in a house would you find a damper? Question 4, where in a house would you find the damper or a damper? Where do you find that? Question number 5, what are the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker sitting in while they are out to sea? Oh, yes. What are the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker sitting in as they are out to sea? It's a famous kids' nursery rhyme. So, number 6. What fabric is made from the flax plant? Number 6. What fabric is made from flax, or the flax plant? That's number 6. Number 7. What is the name for those adobe buildings that the Hopi and Zuni Indians built and lived in? So number 7, what is the name, what do we call the adobe buildings that the Hopi and Zuni Indians built and lived in? What are those buildings called? Question number 8. What kind of animals are Holsteins, Guernseys, and Black Angus? You better get this. This is an easy one for anybody from Montana. Number 8, what kind of animals are Holsteins, Guernseys, and Black Angus? That's like That's like a feel-good question for you all. Just saying. All right, question number 9. This one's a little harder. Who hid inside of the big Trojan horse during the Trojan War? Remember that story? All the soldiers hid in the Trojan horse. Who hid inside the Trojan horse? That's the question. Who hid inside the big Trojan horse during the Trojan War? That's number 9. Final question, number 10. What optical instrument allows crews of submerged submarines to look at surface ships? Number 10. What optical instrument allows crews of submerged submarines to look at surface ships? What is that thing called that they stick up to look at the surface, the ships on the surface? That's number 10. I do actually have a bonus question this time. Actually, I just found 41 questions instead of 40. So the bonus question, if you want to write this at the bottom, bonus question. 12 U.S. presidents were also generals in the armed forces. Can you name 3 of the 12? Any 3, I don't care which ones. So 12 presidents were generals in the U.S. Armed Forces. 12, we had 12 generals for presidents. Out of those 12, can you name 3 for me? And that will be a bonus question. All right, so let's review back at question number 1. What is that 8-branched candlestick that is lit during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah called? That is called a menorah. Very famous symbol. The menorah is the answer to number 1. Number 2, what is the term for an animal with pure white skin and hair and pink eyes? You can see those little animals, that white animal with pink eyes. That's an albino something, an albino mouse or an albino rabbit or an albino rat. And there are albino humans, but they don't have pink eyes. So albino is the answer to number 2. Number 3, what famous 24-hour auto race takes place in France every year? That would be the Le Mans race. So Le Mans is the answer to that. And I'm pretty sure it's Formula 500, like the big race cars with a funky shape, not like NASCAR cars. All right, so number 4. Where in a house would you find a damper? Anybody who's ever had a fireplace knows it's in the fireplace or up the chimney, depending. I'll accept both answers, chimney or fireplace. So dampers are usually up the chimney a little bit to adjust the airflow out. So number 5. What are the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker sitting in while they are out to sea? Well, I didn't give you the first line, which is rub-a-dub-dub. 3 men in a tub. So it's a tub is the answer, tub. And who do you think they be? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. 3 of them out to sea or something like that. So anyway, rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub. They're in a tub. All right, number 6, what fabric is made from flax, from the flax plant? Oh, ladies, we've vowed never to ever iron it again. That would be linen is made from flax. So linen is the answer to number 6. Number 7, what is the name for the adobe buildings built by the Hopi and Zuni Indians? Those would be known as pueblos. So like Pueblo, Colorado, pueblos. And I kind of thought maybe people would say like the cliff dwellings, but no, the buildings that they built out of adobe were pueblos. So that's the answer to number 7. Number 8, what kind of animals are Holsteins, Guernseys, and Black Angus? We're from Montana. We know those are cows or cattle breeds. So cattle or cows would be the answer to number 8. Number 9, who hid inside the big Trojan horse during the Trojan War? Oh, it was a gift to the people of Troy from their enemies, the Greeks. So Greek soldiers were hidden inside the Trojan horse so that they could get inside the city of Troy. So Greeks are who were hidden inside. And then the final question, number 10, what optical instrument allows crews of submerged submarines to look at ships on the surface? That would be a periscope, up periscope. So periscope is the answer to number 10. And then I had that super, super hard bonus question. 12 U.S. presidents were also generals in the armed forces. And then I'm asking you to name 3 of them. Maybe I won't give you the answer and you have to come see me. Or you can research it, but that would be no fun. But I'll give you the answer so you don't go to bed wondering what 12 presidents were also generals. So hopefully you got the biggies. You knew Eisenhower was a general, so there's one. And George Washington, General Washington, that's number 2. Those should have been the 2 easiest ones. I thought the 3rd easiest one was probably Grant. Ulysses S. Grant, of course, was a general in the Union Army. So Grant, those would have been the 3 that I think most people would have gotten. Washington, Eisenhower, and Grant. But there were 9 others that were also generals, and I didn't know all them. So they were Washington, Andrew Jackson, of course, he was a military leader. William Harrison was a general, and I think he was kind of like the Mexican-American War, along with Zachary Taylor, who was also, I think, in that time frame, the Mexican-American War. So Zachary Taylor, William Harrison, and Pierce. Oh, he's like one of the worst presidents ever. But Pierce was also a general, as was Andrew Johnson. Right after Lincoln, who knew he was a general? Andrew Johnson was also a general. Grant, of course, we knew him. Hayes, Rutherford B. Hayes was a general. He was probably a general in the Civil War, but just wasn't famous. So Hayes was one. And then Garfield was also one. He would have been probably a Civil War general too. Garfield. Arthur, Chester A. Arthur was also a general, as was Benjamin Harrison. So both of those Harrisons were generals. And of course, the last one, Eisenhower. So those were the generals, but I think you should have gotten those 3. And then maybe if you were really good, you would get Taylor or Jackson too. But there were 12 general presidents who were generals. So happy Tuesday or happy Thursday, depending on when you're watching. Thank you for playing trivia with me, and I will be back again next week. Thank you.